I gave my mother everything. My home, my care, my trust. And in return, she tried to take my entire life. This is the story of how I discovered that sometimes the people who raised you are the same people who will try to erase you. My name is Hallie. I'm 31 now, and this story happened 3 years ago. When I learned that love isn't always unconditional, sometimes it comes with the condition that you disappear. My mother had surgery that year, a full hip replacement. She was 68, and recovery was going to be long and difficult. I offered to help not out of obligation, but because I wanted to. Because despite everything, despite all the small hurts and disappointments over the years, she was still my mother. And when someone you love is in pain, you show up. That's what I believed then. She moved in temporarily. I gave her the guest room, the one with the big windows that face the garden. I rearranged the kitchen so things were easier to reach. I moved the coffee maker to the counter, put her medications in an easy access drawer, even added a handrail in the shower. I bought special pillows for her back. I stocked the refrigerator with foods she liked. I cleared my work schedule for the first 2 weeks so I could drive her to physical therapy appointments. It felt good, honestly, to care for her, to be that kind of daughter, the kind who drops everything when the family needs help. It first, she was grateful. She called me her little lifesaver. She smiled a lot more than I'd seen her smile in years. Said things like, "You've really made something of yourself. I'm so proud of what you've built here. I had worked hard for this house, saved for years, took on extra freelance projects, lived in a tiny apartment eating ramen and dreams until I could afford the down payment. This house wasn't just where I lived, it was proof that I'd made it. That all those years of struggle had led somewhere beautiful. The house was small but perfect. A 1,920 bungalow with original hardwood floors and built-in bookshelves. I'd painted every room myself, refinished the floors, and planted the garden. Every corner held a memory of the work I'd put in. For the first month, everything felt right. We had morning coffee together. She watched me work from the kitchen table. We talked about books, about the neighbors, about small things that felt comfortable and safe. And then, it changed. I noticed it first in the hallway. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and I was working in my home office when I heard voices. A couple she knew from church was walking through my home, admiring things. She gave them a tour room by room like it was hers. "This is my reading nook," she said, gesturing to the corner where I'd built a custom shelving and placed my grandmother's chair. "I had this island custom built," she added. In the kitchen, running her hand along the countertop I'd saved for months to afford. I was in the next room, close enough to hear every word. My laptop was open, work forgotten, as I listened to my mother claim my life as her own. I didn't say anything. I thought maybe she just misspoke. Maybe she was embarrassed to admit she was staying with her daughter. Maybe it was easier to pretend this was her achievement rather than her temporary refuge. But then there were photos. She started posting pictures online. The morning light streaming through the kitchen windows, the garden in full bloom, the reading nook with its carefully arranged books and soft throw blankets. Captions like, "Settling in beautifully in my new home. Finally got the house I deserve. Living my best life in this beautiful space." Comments from old friends poured in. "You earned it. So happy for you. You deserve everything you have. What a gorgeous place. You have such good taste." She never corrected them. Not once. I watched from my own social media account as she accepted congratulations for my life, as she thanked people for their kind words about her beautiful home, as she posted pictures of her garden, her kitchen, her carefully curated spaces. Each post felt like a small theft. Each comment she accepted was another piece of my identity being erased. She changed the mailing address on a few things, from her name to our address, then to just hers. Small things at first, a magazine subscription, her prescription delivery, but then it was bigger things. Insurance documents, bank statements, official mail that had no business coming to my house under her name alone. She told someone on the phone that she was finally back in charge. I heard her from the next room, talking to her sister. "It's good to have my own space again," she said. To be the woman of the house, she made comments about what she planned to do with the extra bedroom, how she wanted to turn my office into a craft room, how the guest bathroom needed updating when she got around to it. She even suggested I add her name to the property just in case something happened. She said it casually, over dinner, like she was suggesting we change the light bulbs. You never know what could happen, she said, cutting her chicken with deliberate precision. And I'm here now. I'm contributing. It only makes sense. Contributing. As if accepting my care and living rent-free in my guest room was some kind of business partnership. It was subtle, but it was deliberate. Each suggestion, each assumption, each small claim was another boundary crossed, another line in the sand that she stepped over like it didn't exist. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't point out that this was my house, my mortgage, my life that she was slowly rewriting. Instead, I just started documenting. I took screenshots of every social media post, printed them out and put them in a folder. I saved the comments, the congratulations, the responses where she accepted credit for my life. I made copies of every piece of mail that came to my address with her name on it. I documented the conversations where she talked about future plans for her house. I called my lawyer on a Thursday morning while she was at physical therapy. We talked for an hour about property rights, about what constitutes fraud, about how to protect myself if this escalated. Document everything, he said, and be prepared to act quickly if necessary. We updated the deed again with a certified seal. I requested official copies from the county office. I made sure every legal document clearly established my sole ownership. I drafted a cease and desist letter. Professional, clear, legally binding. It sat in my desk drawer for 2 weeks while I decided whether to use it. And then she crossed the final line. She invited her book club to meet at her house, 12 women, all around her age, all under the impression that this was my mother's new home. I came back from a work meeting to find them arranged in my living room, drinking coffee from my mugs, eating cookies from my kitchen. My mother was holding court in my reading chair, accepting compliments on her decorating choices. You have such an eye for design, one woman said. This kitchen is exactly what I would have chosen, said another. You're so lucky to have such a beautiful space. My mother smiled and nodded and accepted every word. She served them lunch using my dishes, told stories about choosing the paint colors, explained her vision for the garden. I stood in my own doorway, invisible in my own home, watching my mother receive credit for every choice I'd made, every dollar I'd spent, every hour I'd worked to create this life. That night, after the book club left, I made my decision. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell or make demands or threaten anything dramatic. I just started moving. That weekend, while she was visiting a friend, I called a locksmith. He came on a quiet Sunday morning, professional and discreet. New locks on every door, new garage door opener, new security codes. Her belongings were placed carefully in a storage unit across town. Not thrown away, not damaged, just moved. I packed everything with the same care I would have wanted someone to show my things. I even included the throw pillows she'd been using and the special coffee she liked. I left the storage unit information on the kitchen counter, along with a key and a code she could use to access her things at any time, and then I changed every address back to her actual residence. I forwarded her mail. I contacted every service and subscription and made sure nothing would come to my house under her name anymore. I didn't block her on social media. I didn't delete her posts. I didn't send angry messages or make dramatic announcements. I just commented under one of her photos, the one where she was sitting in my reading chair, arms spread wide, captions reading "Home Sweet Home." False claims carry legal consequences. Proof of ownership attached. And I added the public link to the property deed. She didn't reply to the comment. She didn't call. She didn't show up at the door demanding explanations. She just deleted the post, quietly. No fanfare. No explanation to all the friends who had congratulated her. Then she deleted the other posts too. One by one, over the course of a week, my house disappeared from her social media presence like it had never existed. She didn't message me. She didn't send angry texts or leave voicemails. She didn't try to justify what she had done or explain it away. But 2 weeks later, her lawyer sent a message, not to contest anything, not to threaten or demand just to acknowledge clarification of property rights. Legal language for we understand this isn't her house. I never spoke to her about it again. There was nothing left to say. I used to think that setting boundaries was about saying no, about drawing lines and defending them with words and arguments and explanations. But sometimes boundaries aren't about what you say. They're about what you do, quietly, decisively, without negotiation. My mother didn't steal my house with moving trucks or legal documents. She tried to steal it with stories, with small lies dressed as pride, with social media posts and causal assumptions and the slow, quiet erasure of my existence in my own life. She wanted to rewrite history so that my achievements became her achievements, so that my hard work became her good fortune, so that my life became her life. But I wrote the ending. Some people don't understand love, they understand ownership. They don't want to celebrate your success, they want to claim it. They don't want to be proud of what you've built, they want to pretend they built it themselves. My mother couldn't stand that I had succeeded where she felt she had failed. She couldn't celebrate my independence because it highlighted her dependence. She couldn't be proud of my achievement because it wasn't hers to be proud of. So she tried to make it hers. One social media post at a time, one small lie at a time, one boundary violation at a time. But here's what I learned. You don't have to argue with people who are determined to misunderstand you. You don't have to explain yourself to people who benefit from misrepresenting you. You don't have to justify protecting what's yours. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply stop participating in someone else's version of your life. My mother and I don't speak much anymore. Not because I'm angry. Anger requires too much energy, and I've learned to save mine for better things, but because we've reached an understanding. She understands that I won't allow her to claim my life as her own. And I understand that she will always want what she hasn't earned. That's not my problem to solve anymore. The house is still mine. The garden is still growing. The reading nook still gets perfect morning light. And when people ask about it, when they compliment the space or admire the work I've put in, I smile and say thank you, because it is mine. All of it, the struggle and the success, the work and the reward, the years of saving and the moment of achievement. And no one, not even the person who raised me, gets to take that away. Looking back, I don't regret helping her. I don't regret offering my home when she needed recovery time. I don't even regret giving her the benefit of the doubt for as long as I did. But I also don't regret protecting myself when helping became used, when generosity became exploitation, when temporary became an attempted takeover. There's a difference between being kind and being naive, between being generous and being taken advantage of, between loving someone and letting them erase you. I learned to love my mother from a distance, to care about her without caretaking her, to wish her well without wishing her into my life. That's not selfish. That's survival. If someone is trying to claim your life as their own, you don't owe them an explanation for protecting it. You don't owe them a confrontation or a conversation or a chance to justify their behavior. You just owe yourself the truth. And the truth is that you worked for what you have. You earned what you've built. You deserve to live in your own life without having to defend your right to it. Some people will never understand that. They'll always see your success as something they're entitled to, your happiness as something they deserve, your life as something they could have lived better. Those people don't need more access to you. They need less. The house is quiet now. Peaceful in a way it wasn't when she was here, even when things were good between us. Because now I know that every corner belongs to me. Every choice was mine. Every achievement is mine to claim. I still help people when they need it. I still believe in family, in generosity, in showing up when someone is in pain. But I also believe in boundaries, in protecting what you've built, in refusing to be erased from your own story. If you've ever been made to feel like a guest in your own life, if someone has tried to claim credit for your work, your success, your carefully built world, you're not alone. You don't have to fight for what's already yours. You just have to stop letting other people pretend it isn't. Sometimes, the most powerful revenge isn't making noise. It's making sure that when the noise stops, the truth is the only thing left standing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reading. And never apologize for protecting what's yours. You built it. You earned it. You deserve to live in it without having to prove that right to anyone. Take care of yourselves. You're stronger than you know.